Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Ramblings of an Insomniac. I am Courtney. Hello. Good morning, party people. How the heck is everyone doing? What are you up to today? What are your plans? Maybe your day is done. Maybe it's the evening. Are you going out? I don't know. What is today? Tuesday? It's Tuesday on my end anyway. I don't know if Tuesday's a happening night. Honest to God, I think Wednesdays, at least where I am, Wednesdays have become the new weekend. It's all of a sudden cool to go out on hump day. Maybe because they're planning on getting a little and they're being cool, hump day, and they want to get a little. I don't know. Maybe it's just the middle of the week and they've had it already and they're like, I ain't going to make it the rest of this week. I can't do the rest of this week if I don't go out and blow off some steam. Hey, Henry's blowing off some steam now. He agrees. He's ready. He's ready to rock and roll. He has a lot to say. I don't have a whole lot to say. I have some things to say, but I kind of went into this with like a couple of notes, a couple of things I wanted to touch on. And often I have noticed whenever I do that, it turns into a longer podcast than the times that I do have a script and I feel like I'm really passionate about something, or I'm really upset or sad or whatever, and I feel like those are going to be the longer podcasts, and somehow they end up being shorter. I don't know. So we'll see. We shall see how long of a podcast this turns out to be. We shall see if anybody falls asleep. I hope nobody falls asleep during my podcast. I mean, unless that's your goal. I mean, again, I'm not offended if you listen to my podcast because you're an insomniac like I am. And maybe my voice is just so soothing you can fall asleep. I doubt it. I don't have a soothing voice, but or maybe I'm so boring that I put you to sleep. Who knows? I'm not offended. If you're using my podcast to fall asleep, you can use me. I'll be your sleep hoe. You can use me. That's fine. If that's what makes you download my podcast and listen to it, I'm not ashamed of that, actually. I don't know if I should be or not, but anybody can listen to my podcast for any reason they want. I can't control the reasons that you listen to my podcast, nor do I want to, I'm not a dictator. You do you. Like I always say, you do you, Scotty P. It's one of my favorite lines. I love that movie, We Are the Millers, or We're the Millers, whatever. If I love it so much, I should probably know the exact name of the title. But that movie makes me laugh so forking much. I don't know why, but it cracks my shit up. I just find it hysterical. And I love that line. And I love no regrets. No regrets. Really? Not even a letter? Love it. Good line. Anyway, hi. Welcome. I am so stinking excited about people from all walks of life. Well, I don't actually know if people from all walks of life are listening to my podcast. I just know people from all different countries are listening to my podcast. So not only people from here in the United States, but I have people from whole ass other countries listening to my podcast. That is awesome. It makes me so happy. I can't even tell you. Again, I run out of words and cool ways and unique ways to say how grateful and thankful I am for everybody that tunes in, whether it's from the very beginning or just now hearing, listening to my podcast. I don't know another awesome way to say thank you other than to just say thank you. Thank you, honestly. Tell a friend. Tell a neighbor, check out my YouTube. I get censored a lot because I'm a loudmouth and I say my opinion. There was a meme I just posted that said, I'm going to butcher it, but the gist of it was basically I've always said what I wanted to say. Social media isn't going to stop me because I always say, that's what it is. It's something like I always say wild shit. I'll always say wild shit on social media, but I'll always say wild shit close up in person with eye contact to your face. And it's like, yeah, I grew up in that Generation X era where we didn't have the internet. And when we said something, we said it directly to people. I'm not saying we were confrontational. I'm not saying we started fights. I'm just saying that we didn't have a computer to protect us. We couldn't say things from, the basements of our home knowing that nobody would, find out who we were. So therefore we could talk a bunch of smack and talk a big talk, but We actually had to back it up. If we were going to talk smack, it meant it was face to face. And we either had to know how to fight or know how to communicate well and know how to resolve issues well, or we got our asses beat. You didn't get to just go around and have carte blanche to just say and do whatever the hell you want and then decide that if you didn't like something, you could like torch it and, burst it all into flames like a fucking movie. Like, who decided that was okay? I blame George Floyd. I honestly, that's when all this shit started going down. People started deciding that we are going to fight violence with violence. I don't know. Or we're going to debunk common sense. We're going to debunk silence. We're going to debunk opinions and freedom of speech. Not debunk it, but we're going to somehow act like those things are dirty words and that only certain people are entitled to them. Doesn't that kind of, if you're sitting there saying only certain people are entitled or deserving of certain rights, then doesn't that make you the prejudiced one? Isn't that the entire definition of being prejudiced? Or, I can't say racist because racist is against a particular race, being prejudiced against a race. But aren't you being prejudiced against anybody and anybody that thinks differently than you? While you're preaching intolerance. I've said this 10,000 times. This is not a new concept. A million people say this all over the internet, and yet I haven't met a single person from the left that can give me an answer to this. Of course, they say the same things like, I hate Trump, you're a racist, you're a bigot. And I'm like, no, I'm asking you how it is. Give me the definition of racist, and then now tell me that what you just did and how you believe and that your thought process right now isn't racist. And they're like, well, because I hate Trump. Oh, I get it. So if you hate a certain person, that now makes you null and void of accountability, of the law. You no longer have to respond to the law. You don't have consequences or accountability if you dislike Trump. That gives you just carte blanche. You get a VIP membership to just do whatever the hell you want. I don't understand. Again, doesn't that now make you, now you are saying that you get special rights, you get special privileges, you are now being privileged, you will now have a privileged card, an entitled card. And who's deserving? Isn't deserving a matter of opinion? Deserving is not a fact. I'm sorry, but the word deserving is not a fact. You can't prove that someone is deserving. It's an opinion. You can sway someone to that opinion. And entitled is kind of the same thing. And according to who? According to you? Well, maybe according to Sally Sue, you're not entitled. So who's right? How do you prove entitlement? Unless we're talking about like who owns a house or who owns property. But when it comes to more deserving of rights, if you're claiming that someone is more deserving of rights than someone else, aren't you, in fact, the culprit? I'm just curious how you're trying to say that everybody else is prejudiced and racist when you're sitting here saying that certain groups of people get to destroy things and burn things and commit crimes or get reparations or whatever it is, but other groups of people do not get those same rights. Tell me how that's not prejudice. Tell me how that's not racism if you're referring to a certain skin color that you feel gets to do that. Just a question for you to mill around. Something for people to think about. I'm just wondering, and how it is that also, again, that certain groups of people can make it okay for me and not for thee or whatever it is. I just don't subscribe to that. You know what I'm saying? Hey, let's get over here, guys. Gwenny, fuck. Anyway, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? It's cray-cray. I haven't said that in a while. I just felt like saying it. I didn't even like cray-cray when it was cool, but I just felt like saying it, Nostalgia. Throwback Tuesday. Anyway, you know what else is on my mind? This whole hantavirus or hantavirus or whatever the hell kind of virus people are pulling out their asses these days. Listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. Did not wear a mask or get vaccinated before. I am absolutely 4,000% not going to do that now, although thankfully we have an administration that I doubt very highly is going to force those things upon us the way the Biden administration did. Now people are going to be like, oh no, Trump was president during COVID. Trump was president during COVID for about 7 months. So the other 3.5 years, the other 3 years was Biden. So yes, Trump was president for a very small portion of COVID, and then it was Biden for the other 3 years. And it was the Biden policies that I have an issue with. And so, again, I 4,000% blame Biden policies and Kate Brown for my mom's death. That's why I did this podcast. Mother's Day was incredibly hard for me because I fully believed my mom would be around had it not been. Now, people are going to go, didn't you say she had COPD? Didn't you say she had dementia? Okay, maybe after 4 years she might not be around, but she certainly wouldn't have died the horrible way she did, and I would have had a lot more time, and we would have got through the COVID thing, and I would have been able to touch her and hold her and hug her and look her in the eyes. Things that I was denied. And had I not completely disregarded the law and walked on into the memory care facility and flat out said, I'm going to go see my mom. If you feel the need to arrest me and call the police, 1,000% you do you. Call the police. I'm still going to go see my mom. And again, I always say this. In their defense, they did not call the police the first 3 times I did it, because I did it 3 times. And then on the 4th time, they're like, no, for real, we are. And I believed them. And I tried to respect them because I also know that they're just following procedure and I don't want them to get in trouble. I understand that they didn't make the rules. I get it. I get that I can't blame them for following the rules, but I can 1,000% and do. I do, for the record, 10,000 trillion% blame the Democrat policies that were put in place during the Biden administration for my mom dying at the time she did and how she did. She died of being severely septic. She was severely septic because she had a catheter, and the catheter never ever got cleaned or changed. And she never got to go see the urologist because they were so short-staffed everywhere that she didn't have transportation. And the nurses at all these doctor facilities kept changing her appointments, kept canceling her appointments. We'd have an appointment. I would figure out transportation because I couldn't get her in and out of my car. Unfortunately, it was very, very, very difficult for her to get into and out of my car. And I was working full-time. I was still working during COVID. So I had after my work or my 3 days off that I could take her to appointments, which I did, but it was, like I said, extraordinarily difficult to get her in and out. So she was supposed to take transportation that the facility provided, but the urologist kept on having to cancel her appointments because people couldn't show up because they were getting turned away because they had COVID or they didn't want to take the vaccination or whatever. So they were severely short-staffed. Same with my mom's memory care facility. Severely short-staffed, so nobody bothered to give her a shower for 10 days. I know that for sure because I got to visit her before the COVID rules were put in place. And then the day that I was like, fuck you, I'm going to go see her, it was 10 days later and she was wearing the exact same clothes and smelled and looked very obviously like she hadn't had a shower, which she was being charged for. She was being charged for it. So, of course, I threw a temper tantrum and I was like, no, you're not charging my mom for that. Also, how dare you have her sit in fucking filth? She sat in filth. She sat in her own urine. She had a catheter, but her catheter kept having issues. So they weren't cleaning it out. I don't even know if they had the degree or the knowledge to clean out her catheter. And they were so short-staffed because people either didn't want to get vaccinated or were being told that, they still had COVID so they couldn't come in or whatever. Or people were just taking advantage of it and just saying they had COVID and not wanting to work and instead cashing in on the obscene fucking amount of money that Biden was giving out and enticing people and promoting people to stay away so that everybody was short-staffed and businesses closed. So my mom could have nurses and CNAs and med techs and dietitians and housekeepers come in and visit her. They could talk to her. They could touch her. But I couldn't. I couldn't wear a mask in my mom's private room. She didn't have anybody with her. She was all by herself. So there was nobody else that I was like, at risk, putting at risk. I wasn't putting anybody at risk. How come everybody else could touch my mom and I couldn't? Why couldn't the nurses, the CNAs, the dietitians, the med techs, why couldn't they give her COVID? Why weren't they a risk? Why weren't strangers a risk? But I was. How come I couldn't take the same precautions as them and go see my mom? No one's explained that to me yet. No one can give an answer as to why it's okay for a bunch of strangers to go into my mom's private room with nobody else there, why I couldn't wear a mask, wear gloves, sit 6 feet away and talk to my mom. Yet my mom and all the residents were allowed, though, to go out into public and go to grocery stores and touch grocery carts and be around a whole bunch of people and then go back to the facility. That was okay. It was okay to take people out in public and be around a billion other people, touching a bunch of stuff, coming back to the facility. That was 100% logical and common sense somehow and approved by Democrats. And they were like, that sounds very, very logical. It sounds super like a good idea and like very cool if people go around and big grocery stores are allowed to stay open, but mom and pop stores aren't. So stores that hold more people, that have a larger capacity, are allowed to stay open. But teeny tiny little mom and pop shops aren't, because supposedly people can't stay 6 feet away. So they're not allowed to let just a couple people in at a time, the way that they did at Home Depot and Walmart, where they were had counters on the outside counting supposedly how many people and not allowing people in until more people left. So you couldn't implement those same policies with mom and pop stores because somehow COVID affected mom and pop stores differently than large stores. This was the brain thought. The brain thought was you could unleash everybody out into public touching everything, but you couldn't go visit your dying loved ones in the hospital. Does that make sense to anybody? If it makes sense to you, you're fucking stupid. I'm sorry. I don't apologize for saying that. You've got something wrong with you. And I need you to try to break that down in your head as to why you think that that's even a logical, reasonable, common sense, scientific way of thinking. You cannot tell me that a whole boatload of people being around my mom is okay and you're not going to get COVID. And that is somehow beneficial and helpful and you're not going to spread COVID. But me, just one person in a private room with my mom, where I could also wear a mask, I could also wear gloves, I could also sit 6 feet apart in a private room with nobody else, I'm not allowed to do that. But a million other people can touch my mom, hug my mom, come and go in and out of her room and then go into other rooms. That's the other part that kills me. People are like, well, they wash their hands before they go into other rooms. Okay, I can do the same thing and so can everybody else. What, nobody else is capable of washing their hands? Do we not know how to wash our hands? We can't wear masks. We can't stay 6 feet away. People were kept away from their dying loved ones because of stupid, uneducated misinformation, because of stupid people, because of evil people that wanted to capitalize on people dying. And no one finds that fucked up. I mean, a lot of people find it fucked up, but not enough. You would think everybody with a brain cell would find it really horrific that Big Pharma wanted people to die and get sick so that they could make money. They wanted a vaccination and they wanted a booster and a booster and a booster so they could continue to make money. And you don't find that a little terrible? I'm just confused by people out there that are on board with this and find it cool and okay. It's very weird to me. Yeah, so, I mean, now here they are. People are trying to come up with new viruses and new things. And there's always going to be viruses. There's always going to be illnesses. Don't be stupid. Wash your hands like a normal human being. Like when you sneeze, if you sneeze into your hand, don't be a disgusting person and go around touching everything and everyone with it. You're supposed to wash your hands. Just like you're supposed to, like, I don't know, take your shirt and sneeze, like pull your shirt out and sneeze down to where your shirt covers your sneeze, or sneeze into your arm or whatever. But be a normal person, and if you're sick, stay home. Don't spread your cooties everywhere. Wash your hands. Wear a mask. Why is this not the things that we go to? Why do we have to shut down America? This isn't the bubonic plague, people. This is not the bubonic plague. And even if it were, you would wash your hands, stay home, protect yourself, of course. But I don't understand during COVID why everybody was wearing masks in their cars, and why everybody was wearing masks if they weren't sick or if they didn't have a immunocompromised, if they weren't immunocompromised. I just feel like so much misinformation was given, and now we've got these vaccines that were manufactured in 2 seconds and then being told to put them into our bodies, crossing our fingers that there wouldn't be side effects. There's always side effects to anything you're going to put into your body, to anything. No matter what that is, there could be. There could be. You never know. And yet you're going to just willy-nilly put something into your body that you don't know yet what the side effects are that they manufactured in 2 seconds. I don't understand that. But again, if that was your choice, unlike some people, I'm fine with that. I don't give a rat's ass what you put in your body. It really doesn't affect my life in any way. Whatever you want to inject yourself with, I don't want you to inject yourself with drugs. I don't want you to inject yourself with things that are going to harm you. I don't wish that for you. I'm not encouraging you to do that. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying if you decide after you have the information that you feel is necessary, if you feel you've done your research and you still want to inject yourself with XYZ, that's on you. I'm not your babysitter. I'm not your mom. I'm not your guardian. But back at ya, don't tell me what to do either, because I truly respect people's rights to do what they want with their body as long as it doesn't affect others. And me not having a vaccine does not affect you, because if I feel that I'm sick, then I'll just stay home. I won't go out like you do with every other fucking thing. If you have pneumonia, you're usually not out walking around. If you have the flu and you're throwing up or you're sick or you're just feeling, you have the flu, you're normally not out walking around. Most people, again, with common sense and respect and decency, don't just go walking around if they have the plague. That's, it doesn't mean you need to inject yourself with stuff. It means you have common sense. We don't need to go to extremes. Just like if you believe that you are a dude and you really fully believe that, why do you have to go to an extreme? Why can't you just say, I identify as a dude, and then, I don't know, whatever you think a dude is? Because if you think being a dude, being a guy just means, I don't know, wearing a baseball hat and hawking loogies and I don't know, whatever the stereotypical things are for a guy. Women do those things too. Women fart, women burp. A lot of women like to, wrestle and play in the mud. These are not man and women things. And the fact that you're calling something a man or a woman thing to do kind of makes you, again, the one labeling. You're segregating. You're putting labels. You are dividing people. You are. If you think doing certain things is a man thing to do or a boy, or a girl thing to do, that is you putting labels. And I thought that we were equal and we could all do the same thing. So what difference does it make? If you truly, 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 truly believe that men and women are equal, then what difference does it make to you at all if someone supposedly behaves like a man, behaves like a woman, or whatever? It doesn't matter at all what someone identifies with. No one cares about that. What people care about is When you force those things and you say, well, because I believe I'm a man, I am going to force myself and my beliefs upon you and everybody else. That's where I draw the line. Because I'm not going to force people to do things. It's weird. Again, how am I a bitchy, horrible, Nazi, racist bigot? Because I genuinely believe in freedom of speech. Because I don't want to force people to inject things into their bodies. If it is your body, your choice, then you better walk that walk and not just talk that talk, or that makes you a liar and a hypocrite. And no one's going to value a liar and a hypocrite. What has happened to dignity? What has happened to respect and education? What has happened to humility and grace? I don't feel we have those things very often. I don't always give grace. I'm not always respectful. I can be an asshole. I can be judgmental. God knows I have said and done some things that I'm like, wow, that was not cool. But I'm also really, really tired of people getting mad when I say my opinion. And meanwhile, there's people out there burning things down and threatening my life. Literally threatening my life. And when my mom was alive, telling me that they hope she dies. My mom didn't do anything to anybody. She's not on social media saying a fucking word. But they're threatening her life while claiming to be these peace-loving people and calling me evil. I'm sorry, that's wrong. Because I'm not threatening anybody. I don't threaten people, and I don't wish death upon people. And I'm certainly not trying to have people censored and forced to do things. So how am I the bad guy? These are questions that I ask people that never have an answer to it, other than, again, the standard, well, you're just a bigot, you're a hateful. I'm like, I know, you just said that, and I'm asking you why. And they can never answer. Never, ever, ever in the history of ever, in the history of all of social media, can you find a video with a liberal that actually answers that question without saying, you're a Nazi, you're a bigot, you're a racist, you're a homophobe, you're transphobic, I hate Trump, something like that. That's not answering a question. It's just calling names. Because they know they don't have a response. They know they're caught in a lie. And instead of just being a normal fucking... Why can't people just go, you know what, you're right. I did see a video once of that guy named Josh. I forget his name, but he's hilarious. He did go up to a guy who had a sign on the door that was anti-ICE. And he went up, and the guy at the end of the video said, you know what? You are right. I'm going to take down that sign. And he took down that sign, and he genuinely meant it. He was like, I didn't think of that. You have a point. You are correct. I'm taking down my sign right now. And he did. That's the only video I've ever seen. I've never, ever seen an apology or someone go, you know what, you're right. Why? It sucks being wrong. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel comfortable. It's very uncomfortable. It's a yucky feeling to be wrong. It hurts your pride. God knows I'm a prideful person to a fault sometimes. Pride can be both a blessing and a curse. And let me tell you, I've had my pride bruised and I didn't like it. But who cares? Because we shouldn't be devaluing someone else and how someone else's opinions and someone else's beliefs and morals and being violent to others and not admitting we're wrong because we're too prideful. Because we can't, God forbid, have humility. God forbid we have humility. God forbid we accept that we just might not be perfect. I know that's a shocker for a lot of people. This is hard to hear for people. Hearing that they're not perfect or special, because you're not special. To anybody out there who's listening that has been under the impression that there's some entitled, deserving, special person, you're not. And anyone that tells you that is ridiculous, because you aren't. You are none of those things. There wouldn't be billions of people if we were special. The fact that there are billions with a B of humans makes us not special. That's the opposite of special. If there's a billion of something, that means it's not rare or special. And there are a lot of black people, white people, Asian people, Native American, I mean, not a lot, obviously, depending on the race, there's more or less of each race. I'm just saying there's not more than one. It's not rare. And even people with green eyes, it's something like 2%. Don't quote me. I'm not giving that as a fact, but I know it's a very small percentage of people that are left-handed like me and green-eyed. Not like me. I wish I were green-eyed. I love green eyes. My kids have green eyes. Small percentage. Not special, though. Special would be a human that knew how to fly. If you were a human and you could just all of a sudden fly, not with an airplane or a helicopter, I'm talking you just sprouted wings. Or if you were a human that could, live underwater without some kind of bubble, without some kind of oxygen and shit, that'd make you special. If you could turn water into wine or turn things into gold, you'd be special. But being a human, being a woman, being Native American or Catholic or transgender or non-binary, none of those things make you special. They are one part of the puzzle, one part of the equation that make you who you are. And if you are having your entire identity, your whole entire life and identity revolve around your penis or your vagina, wow. Weird, super creepy, super weird, and incredibly gross and narcissistic. And when I say that, I mean, if your entire identity revolves around who you sleep with, meaning if you're non-binary, bisexual, gay, straight, a furry, whatever, if that's the only thing you have, that you have to celebrate it so much and put so much focus on it, that's sad. That's sad that you don't have a family you can focus on as much, or animals, or friends, or a job, or a charity that you can focus on as much as your penis or vagina. Because when you have parades about who you sleep with, that's very fucking weird to me. I don't get that. That's a lot of focus on vaginas and penises. Yeah, I'm saying vaginas and penises a lot because all that the left seems to talk about is sex, 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 penis, penis, vagina, vagina. Mutilate, mutilate, abort, abort. Those are the topics. It's weird. Why are we constantly, forever focusing on one small aspect? You as a human are made up of so many things. Your gender, your race, your religion, if you have one, your political point of view, so many things. If you are a parent, if you are a spouse, if you are a sibling, what your job is, what your occupation is, there are so many things that make you who you are. And if you're focusing on one small aspect, like just your religion or just your sexuality, I find that sad and weird. Why don't you have other things that you can focus on? Where is your family in that equation? Where's your spouse? Where are your kids? Where are your friends in that equation? Where's your job in that equation? Where are your goals? Okay, so once everybody focuses on you, you have our attention. This is the funny thing is, the LGBTQIA community, at least the very, very extreme community, keeps acting like they're not getting attention. And I'm sorry, do straight people get entire parades dedicated to their sexuality? Do they get an entire month dedicated to their sexuality? Do you get certain attention and an entire flag dedicated to their sexuality? And yet you still want more attention? You want more attention than that? Wow. Again, you're not very nice people. You're not taking care of anyone else but you. You are making everything and everyone focus on you at all times. And if, God forbid, they look away for a second and they don't find you special and they're like, I get it. I just don't care anymore. I get it. We accept you. You got what you wanted. Why do you constantly need to bring up more shit? I am just tired. Sorry, I got sidetracked by a phone call and a bunch of commotion, but I guess I'm just incredibly, incredibly tired of the hypocrisy. I'm tired. Sorry if this is like totally different than the topic I was talking about, because I got a phone call while I was doing my podcast and my dogs are freaking out because there's people along our fence line. Gwen, come, leave it. And so we got sidetracked by a bunch of stuff and a bunch of commotion. But at any rate, my point is this. I don't force people to do things. And if you're going to force me to do something while shouting that you don't want to be forced to do things. Oh, that's what I was saying. If you're going to have entire parades and things all for you while screaming that you're not getting attention, that's some serious bullshit. Gwen, come on, let's go. That is some serious bullshit. It isn't remotely okay for you to complain about not getting enough attention while you're having entire parades and months and flags dedicated to your honor. Because there are many groups of people that do not have that same luxury. We're not walking around with an entire ass flag. We're not walking around with an entire ass month. We're not walking around with all parades and where you're allowed to. And again, why can you peruse around completely naked? Naked. There are naked parades, naked bicycle things. There are people dressed as furries in bondage crap in public streets with children around. But I'm not allowed, though, to flash someone in public. I'm not allowed to flash anybody in public. I'm not allowed to go pee in public. A guy isn't allowed to unzip his pants without even taking out his wiener and pee up against something without someone even seeing his penis and pee, because that's considered indecent exposure. But you can parade around completely naked and ride bikes and have a parade in Portland and many other places, and you can wear bondage stuff in front of children. And I'm talking naked people. I'm not saying that their areas are covered. Their areas are not covered, and this is promoted. So that's called special privileges. That's called special. That's you having special privileges that other people are not afforded. So don't tell me you're getting your rights taken away, because again, not a single liberal, not a single person that screams, my rights are being taken away. Oh, my stars. Oh, mercy. My life is over because I am just being ruined. My life, I have to stay inside because it's not safe for me to go outside. There's so many people threatening me. I can't get a job. I can't do anything without being threatened. Bullshit, you lying sack of crap. You're a fucking liar. And when you get called on it, you have no response. You can't think of a single goddamn thing. Not a single right has been taken away. Non-rights. No rights. No rights. Now, there's a difference between what you want and a right. See, there are constitutional rights, and none of your constitutional rights have been taken away. Again, a right is an opinion, unless it's a constitutional right. Then it's a piece of paper and it's a fact. It's the fact that you have these rights. But when you just go, I have the right. Okay, if you're talking about a constitutional right, yes. But if you're just talking about, I have the right to slap my kid, I don't know if you do. You may or may not. I have the right to force my opinions and beliefs on people. Do you? No, you actually don't. So what rights have been taken away? And again, not a single response other than you're a hateful, horrible bigot that hates everybody, you piece of shit garbage. That is how closed-minded, unintelligent people argue. When you're an unintelligent person, when you are a closed-minded, deplorable, garbage human being, you pick on others and tell everybody that they're pieces of crap because you don't like their opinion. Now, I'll tell someone that I think they're a piece of crap because I don't like their character and I don't like who they are. I may call you a piece of crap. And that's based on my opinion of you as a human being, not because you are a liberal. I don't give a shit if you're a liberal. I have tons of friends that are liberals, love them dearly. Lots of Democrat friends, love them dearly. We just don't talk politics. I don't think they're pieces of crap at all. I don't base who I like or base what I think of someone because of their political preference or their sexual orientation or their religious beliefs. I don't. Because I truly, truly, truly could not care less what you do in your free time as long as it does not affect me. But I got to tell you, when you start forcing me to do things and it affects me, I care. And I will tell you I care. But I will do it in a super respectful way. I can have a calm conversation, and I will. The only time I get snappy and a little cranky, and I'm not saying it's okay, is when someone starts attacking me and calling me names. And even then, usually I'll be like, okay, please give me an example of why I'm those things. I still won't get mad. I'll just say, please back up what you're saying with evidence and facts. I still don't get mad. But when I dislike someone, or if I say I think someone's a garbage human being, it's because they believe in a bunch of things that I think are what garbage human beings would believe in. Just like someone that doesn't like MAGA, doesn't like Trump supporters, believes that we're garbage human beings because they don't like our beliefs. And that's all fine and dandy. If you want to dislike someone, dislike someone. I don't think it's healthy, but I do it. We all do it. We're humans. We're not going to like everybody. That's what people forget. Do you think we're going to get rid of racism? Do you think we're going to get rid of hate? Do you think it's going anywhere? No, because we are humans with brains and we all have our opinions, and we're always going to have our opinions, and they're always, always going to be different than other people. We're not all going to share the exact same opinion. I hope to God that never happens, because that means we're robots. That means we're like an alien life form that is like melded together, and that's weird and creepy. We shouldn't all be thinking the same things. We should have different opinions. That's what makes us, again, diverse. That's what makes this earth so awesome. So I hope and pray we never, ever, every single person start thinking the exact same thing. But I do hope and pray that we stop offing people and assassinating people and bullying people and censoring people because they think differently. Pucky, go get your other ball. Where is it? Where's your white ball at? Where's the cool ball that we can't find? Where is it? And I know people heard me say, oh, it's a white ball? Are you racist? I mean, that's honestly where we are nowadays, to where I just said, go find your white ball. That's because he has a bunch of different balls. And I swear to God, this is how the world is nowadays. They're like, what? You have your dog go after a white ball and not a black ball? And I'd be like, well, wouldn't that be better because I'm white? Because if I had a black ball, you guys would be like, oh, your dog's going after and biting a black ball. Like, honest to God, you guys are going to be like, oh, roll eyes. People don't think like that. Yes, they do. That's how fucking weird the world has gotten. But I don't want to focus on that anymore, because I said over and over, I just want to focus on the good. I want to be happy. I want to focus on life and the good things we have. And the fact that, again, like Luke Bryan says, I believe most people are good. I really do. As much as I bitch and complain about all the assholes out there, there are far more good people. I'm around them. I see them. I talk to them. I talk to people that are Democrats, and I love them. Again, I genuinely have. It's not one of those things where people go, I have a black friend, so I'm not racist. I have friends from all walks of life. Again, I base who people are, and if I'm friends with them or like them, on their morals and their character and so many things. I encourage other people to do the same. I hope we get to that place where we don't have to worry about our lives being threatened. We don't have to worry about the clothes we wear and someone unaliving us for that. Gwen, where's your ball now? Where's your ball? You guys, where's the balls? Anyway, I so appreciate your tolerance of me. I can go on and on. Sometimes I can be boring. Sometimes I can be hot-headed and scream and yell. I get fired up. I say a lot of stuff. So if you're still hanging with me, you are amazing. You fucking rock. You're amazing. You deserve a medal. You deserve a medal for putting up with the fact that sometimes I can talk fast. Sometimes I digress. I get sidetracked by a lot of things. But again, I do warn you about that. It's in the title. It's in my description. So be sure to read it, because you're going to get a lot of this, people. Anyway, thank you so much. I want to end with saying I am thankful. I am grateful. I am working on giving grace. I try to, but I'm not perfect. I'm working on being more tolerant and patient, but I'm not perfect. But at least I'm working on it. All we can do is work on it, right? Can we just try? Try to focus on the things we can control and let go of the rest. Try to focus on the good people out there, because, man, The good people are not getting enough attention. Good people deserve, again, there's that word deserve, and I know I just said it's an opinion. So I feel, in my opinion, that good people are deserving of attention. I feel that good people are deserving of so many things. Come on, guys. Come on, Henry. I feel that good people are deserving of people treating them kind and giving them respect. I mean, everybody is deserving of respect and kindness, of course. Again, that's not pervy to certain groups of people. So let's do that. We can only be the best versions of ourselves, right? We can't worry about others. We need to worry a lot less about others and worry about ourselves. I mean, not ourselves as in be narcissistic. I don't mean that. I just mean let's focus on what we can change, what we can do to better ourselves. Let's focus on our family. Let's focus on our friends, right? That's enough to focus on. We don't need all the other stuff. It's exhausting. It's so exhausting. And we can focus on my podcast, right? I appreciate you so much. I hope you continue to listen. Again, you can check me out on Instagram and YouTube and Facebook. So I appreciate you so much. I hope you have a wonderful and blessed day. Until next time.